None of the diplomatic missions or embassies withdrew its workforce. If these demonstrations were peaceful in Benghazi or Baida, for instance, why the workforce of foreign companies were withdrawn? It is a clear indication that there are armed gangs. It is a living proof that there are armed gangs launching attacks against them. If demonstrations were peaceful, why thousands of workers were withdrawn? What does the peaceful demonstration has to do with foreign company workforce in a remote area? It is a clear proof that what is happening is attacks launched by armed gangs against these corporations. If a demonstration is peaceful, how can this demonstration reach foreign companies miles away, threatening corporations in the oil fields and those working on the on the artificial river? It means that there are no peaceful demonstrations in Libya or firing at these demonstrations. What happened is the true reality I mentioned. They depicted Libya as Libya has fallen. Libya will live on, and it is them that will fall. Crowds chanting, if we are challenged by the whole world, we cannot abandon our leader. Now, we are bound, the Libyans, we are bound and obligated to initiate investigations in this. How it is spilled over from Baida to Benghazi, in order to establish who is the aggressor and who is the victim. Those who killed in Benghazi are from Benghazi residents, and those civilians are from the armed groups, armed gangs. The same applies to Baida. If any is killed in the police station or al-Juwayfi camp, they are residents of al-Baida. They were assaulted by the armed operatives. We should initiate investigations in this killing. It is not the issue of who killed the civilians. It is the issue of who killed the police and security personnel. Not mercenaries, they are Libyan families whose sons were killed in the line of duty. They were also killed by the Libyan attackers. We will penalize those responsible. Some were hanged, others were slain, al-Zarqawi style. Others were executed. We will launch investigations to establish who launched the attack and who is the victim. It is a concern of you, the Libyan, the nomads and Bedouin of Baida and Benghazi. You form a committee to investigate and establish the fact. This is a domestic issue. When it comes to the whole world, we challenge the whole world. The United Nations can dispatch fact-finding committees to establish that we did not fire any single bullet against peaceful demonstrations. We challenge them to come and establish this. The the Islamic Conference Organization, the whole world should come to Libya. The Security Council, who is not concerned of any domestic issue, it is only concerned with international wars. If the Security Council deviates from its course and hands down resolutions, it is not supposed to hand down any resolutions on the basis of media reports from outside Libya. How can the Security Council hands down a resolution on the grounds of media reports? These resolutions must be handed down on the basis of fact-finding commissions. After establishing the facts, the Security Council has the right to hand down resolutions. How can the United Nations and Security Council issue resolutions on false reports? I am certain that if the United Nations or Security Council will later admit that it has taken the wrong decision, 1970. Otherwise, all states will lose their respective sovereignty and independence and will be under the dominion of the Security Council. Again, I urge the Security Council to form fact-finding committees to come and establish the facts on the ground and to declare that the resolution 1970 is mistaken. India is a great nation. Brazil, China, friendly states, other friendly African states. We asked them why there is such a resolution has been issued. I regret to say they replied, we vetoed any resolution against Libya until the mass media reports are verified. However, Libya representative came to us requesting us to hand down resolution against his own country. Imagine, traitor. Yeah. Imagine that.
وبعدين
After that,
لا هو طلع
he is no longer there. He is a traitor. He is no longer there. Crowds chanting, revolt will continue and traitors to go out. Okay. I regret to say the Security Council member states are friendly states. Okay. The Security Council member states are friendly states, and I was surprised for such a resolution to be handed down. They told me they were shocked and surprised that our representative there requested us to issue a resolution against his own country. At that point, we could not stand up for you. He said these words and escaped.
الفرق بين اللي بشوي خلونا بالهدوء.
Please keep.
يا شباب
Folks.
في المرة اللي فاتت
Last time
خطبت
I addressed you.
خطبت خطاب حماسي ثوري في الساحة الخضراء اللي اني كنت خاطب الشباب
you
الساحة الخضراء اللي مغتاظين
in the green square for the people who rose up in defiance to this challenge.
غاضبين جدا الشباب في
The
الساحة الخضراء.
youth in the green square were very angry. At that point, I had to deliver a very enthusiastic, impassioned speech. Today, we are addressing the whole world. It is not an enthusiastic or inflammatory or impassioned speech. It is a calm, quiet address meant to spare the right from the wrong to the whole world. Let our words be heard by the mass media, journalists and correspondents. Foreign correspondents, foreign ambassadors are present. They hear us and we are responsible for every word.
الفرق بين
The difference between
كل ما هو موجود الآن
what is happening now
اللي موجود الآن في بعض المناطق
in certain areas of
بالنسبة
Libya
للقاعدة
with regards to Al-Qaeda,
مطالب ولا يديروا مظاهرات
they do not have demands or march in demonstrations. They are very limited in number. Their slogan is killing, 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 and labeling others as infidels. The whole world knows about Al-Qaeda in Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Algeria, Boko Haram, Nigeria. The whole world knows of Al-Qaeda. They do not compromise. We wish Al-Qaeda had certain demands. I'm prepared to discuss any of their amirs or caliphs. I'm prepared to sit with him and discuss with him. They do not negotiate. They have no demands. They only perpetrate killing and murder. They label others as infidels and blasphemous. It is Al-Qaeda. They are very few in number, infiltrated within the cities named earlier. Al-Qaeda operatives. They may be also of ripe age, not young youth. Those infiltrators or those prison inmates like this one who was detained in Guantanamo, he is above 30 or 40. Those detained by the United States and extradited to us and then we released them, they are no of young age. They are not of young age. They are old and they do not compromise. We wish the Libyan people that they are those people who are brainwashing and recruiting our own children. This is a separate group. Al-Qaeda leaders, Al-Qaeda organization in the Islamic Maghreb states. They are operating from a mosque or a snake hole, provoking and brainwashing young youth. It is different from Egypt or Tunisia. Al-Qaeda has no demands. They do not compromise or negotiate. Now, Al-Qaeda started to brainwash, mislead, and recruit young juveniles. Even Bin Laden himself started to demonstrate this, explaining that they recruit people at certain young age before reaching adulthood or being a minor, then hand to them and explosive belts, bombs, etc. Bin Laden himself explained his policy that he relies on young youth, the juveniles, who can be easily misled and brainwashed. As to the elderly, they cannot provoke or mislead them. They are targeting below 20 young youth, handing over to them hallucination pills. Those are our own children, first time happy to touch machine guns. They have no political philosophy or ideology. They are not aware of any of the jurist authority or religious reference or authority. Those are the young children below 20 carrying arms. I'm just classifying the groups to you. Those infiltrators who came from outside are agents and operatives trained outside, entered either peacefully or infiltrated. They also joined al-Qaeda operatives. Those inmates who broke from prison, I told you they are of ripe age.
لا قصدك انه الجزيره توفر هذا، الجزيره مش موفرتوا لنفسها، توفروا لكم تمسكون وصافي. احنا متعشمين فيها خير، هي الجزيره صدقني انه انا جيت ما عندي كاميرا، ابسط شيء. الناس اللي هون هم اللي متطوعين متبرعين، هم اللي جاوا ولقيتهم مكتب جاهزين وموفرين هم كل شيء، الناس من داخل هذه يا ابوي انت تابع شايف باهي جماعه قاعدين غادي باهي صحيح. احنا ما جبنا، اقسم بالله ما جبت كاميرا واحده للجزيره.
Well, apologies though, we seem to have lost that feed there from Muammar Gaddafi's long speech, the third televised speech since the uprising began. Quite a long rant, really, against everyone from foreign media to the foreign forces he blamed, and he described the uprising as the work of terrorists linked to al-Qaeda. He said that they were executing people, raping women. He also played down the scale of the size of the places that are controlled by the opposition, describing one of them as merely a village, and he also said that he still believes the people are ready to die for me. That was a quote. He also attacked satellite television for what he described as provocations and a waste of time. And he also said that he was preparing a certain amount of military action, where he said that any weapons depot must be destroyed. With me here in the studio is Ibrahim Shaki from the Brookings Doha Centre. Thanks for staying with us. So what do you think is any different from this speech? We were at the same time watching those demonstrators in Benghazi saying that he was lying. What did you make of the speech?
I think there is one important difference here between the first speech and this speech, which is actually Gaddafi continues to dive into his state of denial. And I see that actually this time he's more in a state of denial compared to the first time. So this is very alarming. This is not very good. This will make the mission of toppling the regime way more complicated. And another thing I noticed, even on the way he talks and the way he sits and the way that compared to the first time, actually we're seeing a difference. He seems more comfortable now, and he just got adjusted to this kind of situation, and he now continues to live his state of denial. So it's sad to see him that level of detachment and that level of disconnect. It's really alarming, and so it's we should continue to watch how he is going to do this.
Ibrahim Shaki, thank you very much indeed.